Right. Any rolls? Anything happens?
It's dead. It's not going to resist you. You can certainly... You might have to yank on it a few times, but I'm not going to make you roll for that. You'd eventually succeed, so you can
Right.
yank the tusk off. It's... The tusk is big enough, though, it would take both hands to carry it.
That's fine. He's most likely going to have it over his shoulder
Okay.
and going to be probably, if not full body support, dragging it behind him.
Anyway, Itches, you were sufficient in your task. Could you lead us back to the Sunset Tower?
Itches nods and begins to walk away and said, "It's this way." When you guys hear cracking up above your heads again, and it's getting closer.
Itches!
And
Faster!
Itches looks up and he goes, "I may not have closed it well enough."
Faster, Itches!
Itches, please don't say that.
As you guys, he leads you over this direction, and as you guys start to head that direction, the ceiling above you shatters, and coming through it is several bodies of demons, and something else you recognize. Give me 1 second.
Who's back from the dead now?
No, I don't think I'm back from the dead.
It is I, Seller.
What?
It is I, Neelix! What the fuck?
Oh,
CP.
Into the ground slams
Giroth.
Giroth. And he hits the ground and he looks around and he goes, "Oh dear, I may have landed too hard."
Hold on, Itches. Like, Jerick will extend his bony hand out to grab the gnome's shoulder.
Pearson will raise his hand. Don't worry, Grimmeth. He's one of ours. I mean, don't worry. I think my brain is goddamn.
Suddenly Cole's
Vestigial
carrying
today.
Grimmeth for some reason.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Giroth looks around and says, "Oh, it is you, my friends. And he looks around at all the water and trees. "I think I messed up."
It's okay. We're about to leave anyway, Giroth. Why don't you hitch a ride back with us?
Yeah.
Giroth looks up, looks back down and says, "That might be best, though Gearswald will be upset with me." And he'll hitch a ride with you guys. And as you make your way back to the Sunset Tower, you will find the dwarves did not stand by and let the demons just walk away. The golems themselves have been making quite a mess up there. Giroth so much so that he kind of busts through the not properly closed earth. And but he says that from what he saw up there, things seem to be going well. And you guys
Good.
head back to the Sunset Tower. And go ahead and
Huzzah.
go back to
By the way, Jerick, this is Giroth, one of the golems that we were talking about before.
I see.
Oh, right. Cog.
Cog uncogs himself from your bow.
Can you go back to being a hat, please?
He gives a happy little whirl and turns into a top hat. This time with goggles on it.
I will hand the top hat over to Cole.
Cole, not really looking at you, but knowing exactly where the hat brim is, takes it from you and puts it on his head.
Excellent.
Kriana, in light of you, I found a spider on my ceiling. I tried crushing it and it fell onto my keyboard and I don't know where it's gone.
Grimmeth, oh my god, Grimmeth, get out of there now! Get out!
Tiny spider.
Get out! No, it's not just a tiny spider. It'll kill you.
It's actually as big as the my thumb.
Then how did you lose it in your keyboard?
It fell on top and it was black.
Oh, Grimmeth! Okay, Grimmeth, what you gotta do is you gotta just unplug your keyboard and just throw it out the window.
I was going to say fire. You need an aerosol can and a lighter.
No, it's too late for that. It's way too late. You just gotta throw that shit out the window. Buy a new keyboard. That's what I would do. I'm sorry, buddy. That's the best
Anyway,
advice
sorry
I
for
have.
derailing it. I just thought of it because
No,
Kriana
it's
spiders so
fine.
Yeah, she loves spiders.
When you guys arrive back at the Sunset Tower, you find that you are one of the middle ones to come back. Some groups have come back before you, some are still out. Sky is still out. There are some injuries, but overall, spirits among the gnolls and orcs seem fairly high. You even see some who were grouped together conversing, which, considering they'd just been at war a couple of days ago, is quite the thing. You guys get back to the Sunset Tower, and basically Itches says it was a pleasure to meet you, and he's going to go back to his people. And you're kind of just left standing there. It's been about 12 hours or so you would be fairly tired.
I know where I'm going to go to sleep.
What? Finn looks around.
Cole is actually going to ask one of the guards or people that would be guard-like if they can guide him to a blacksmith of some kind.
They will be more than happy to do so.
Right.
In fact, they will guide you to Keen's old buddy, whose name
Caleb.
I blank on for a second. Caleb, thank you.
Caleb.
Who is really the only certified elves don't make the best blacksmiths, but he does, and he's in town, so they'll guide you to him. And,
Right.
When you come in, he'll say, "I know you. You're Keen's friend."
Do I know you?
Oh, but I don't believe we've ever met. I am... Keen used to own a shop with me back in Whitebridge. Caleb. And he stretches a hand towards you.
Oh, you know Keen. And he looks at your hand and reaches his hand down like he's trying to slide his hand into a hole that doesn't exist next to his hand.
Caleb will arch an eyebrow and then shake his hand and murmur something about not unusual for an orc. And then he'll say, "What can I do for you, friend?"
This, and he will actually lug off the tusk that he's actually been carrying around, blood still fairly intact, onto whatever sort of surface may be around, or even just onto the floor.
Okay. It thuds onto the floor.
I would like this to mimic this, and he's going to take off his quiver and also thunk down a fairly large quiver of javelins.
He looks at it and he says, "You want me to hollow this out so you can carry javelins in it?"
Yes.
Easy enough. Give me, a day. Should be all I need for that.
I'd be grateful. Thank you.
Not a problem. And he picks it up with, and he's a big guy, but picks it up with some difficulty. He's not quite as big as Cole. And hefts it onto the table.
All right. He will give a thump of the chest and leave the room.
As you leave, he goes, I almost forgot. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but it would be about 50 gold, if that's okay.
Right. Payment. And he starts patting around him. He goes,
He puts a hand up and he says, "When you pick it up is fine. There's no reason to pay for work that hasn't been done yet."
Could you, and he goes over, could you still count this out? I'm not quite sure if this is enough. And hands him an exact number of 53 gold, but he has no idea that it's 53. It's...
Caleb will count it out and hand him back 3 gold and say, "You had almost exactly the same amount. I will do the finest job as you'll find."
Okay. And Cole will nod and kind of shift his eyes back and leave the room.
All right. Anyone else before we speed ahead along to the next morning, or?
I will try and find Queen Alana.
Okay. Before we do that one, because that might take a bit. Finn, what are your plans? Are you going to your uncle or?
Finn's gonna kind of roam around for a bit and then probably fall asleep somewhere.
Just somewhere, anywhere. Got it.
Yeah, basically.
All right. In that case, then we will do someone else's first. Pearson, you are going home, I take it?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Well, I don't really have one
right,
anymore because it's been
right.
burned to the ground. I've gone to the makeshift refugee camp in which my family is.
Which
But yes.
are all super, super excited to see you. I don't have anything in particular planned for it, but just know that they, it's a homecoming after 6 or 7 weeks. They are all about tell me stories, Daddy, and Carla's extremely happy to see you, etc., etc.
That's fine. That's all that needs is just a little touchstone for Pearson's sanity and to remind him if he ever did forget, which he doesn't, what he's fighting for. So that's good.
You will notice. Carla. It's something that you would recognize well. It doesn't. It's not that she looks less tired than she did the last time you were here, but she carries it better. As though she has grown stronger and more used to being tired and being exerted, so that it doesn't show as much as it used to.
Okay. And maybe the same will be reflected in my face. I don't know. Carla's not a character, but that's okay. Well, she's not a player character.
There will be something reflected in your face, but we'll wait for later on that one.
Okay.
When I have time to brainstorm a little bit.
Good.
So Keen, you find Queen Alana, and she says, "Oh, you're back.
Yes.
Your friend. We were able to find him.
Good.
We sent him up to Lady Celine. She is in the courtyard as we speak."
All right, I will go and meet with them.
Okay.
Thank you.
And do you want to let everyone know who your friend is, or?
Oh,
Invisible.
yeah, my friend is. His name is Riz Ashgrove. He used to be a cleric among the mercenary group that Keen was with. He tried when the group started falling apart after the death of their leader, Damon Castle, and his brother-in-law. He tried to resurrect Damon, but it failed. So, it has been 10 years since Keen has seen Riz.
So you walk out to the courtyard, and in the courtyard you see Lady Celine with, it looks a bit odd, but it is a paintbrush that is as tall as she is. And she is currently, at the moment, telling several attendants to back off, and she can do it herself, as she tries to draw a very large magic circle on the ground. And your friend, I'm sorry, his name again one more time.
Riz Ashgrove.
Riss?
Yes.
Okay. Riss turns to you and looks you up and down and says, "It's been a long time, Riss."
It's been a long time,
It's been a long time,
Riz.
Keen. It's been a long time, Keen.
Yeah, quite a long time. A lot of stuff has happened.
So I hear. And now I hear that you want to... perhaps you better tell me in case I'm just gone mad.
Okay, do you want the long story or the short story? Do I need to catch you up on anything?
Well, we can say that you retell the story, because you've had to explain this to Celine. I won't make you have to explain it to him again.
Yeah.
And he will say, and I will also say that we tell him about your power, because the first question would be, "But you're not a cleric." He will say,
But I am a dragon.
He'll say, "Look, Keen, I understand what you're doing. It's a brave thing, and I'm not going to tell you no, but it is risky. Even I couldn't successfully bring about a resurrection, and you're relying on my skill. With your power, if you are a dragon, as you say, well, it has a better chance of working, but if I mess up, and you pay for it, I'm not sure I can live with that."
Damn it, Riz. Ah. I think we both have to have a little bit of faith. It's not only you and I that are trying to do this, it's also the emotions to Celine. Easily one of the most powerful magic
brushers in the kingdom, yes.
Yes, in the freelance. Well, ex-freelance. With the three of us, I believe we can do this.
He slowly nods and he says, if your heart is set on it, I won't tell you no. I just... You know me. I'm always too concerned.
Yeah, I know.
I will do my best. You provide me the power. I will do the ritual.
Okay. And Celine?
Celine looks up. Oh, Keen, you're back.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious, but we should probably not tell Jerick of this.
She raises an eyebrow and she says, and you think he won't find out eventually?
I would want to put this off as long as possible.
She thinks about it and she nods and she says, tell you what, if this works and Theoden comes back, he can deal with Jerick. And then she goes back to painting on the floor.
That's not what I wanted to hear, Celine. Okay.
She has a grin.
Okay.
All right. There will let you know that there's nothing you can do now. As you are a gigantic battery, you are simply only going to be needed when the day comes.
Yeah. So I will just go to my room and think.
All right. Anyone else? I have one little thing planned for Finn and one little thing planned for Pearson. It'll be real quick things. Does anyone else have anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing that would interfere with theirs.
Okay. As the evening progresses, Pearson, you notice Carla looking at you more and more. They start off as glances, and then they turn more into studying looks.
Mm-hmm.
And partway through the evening, she just says, something's different about you.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Unexpected. You seem softer, which is never a word I use to describe you. Not in a bad way, but in... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but you look different.
And at that time, Pearson would probably explain the whole thing with the goddess and what he went through. And he'll sum it up with the idea that, about 15 years ago, you took me off of a certain path that I was going to take, and I sacrificed everything for that freedom of that new life. I think it is only until now that the lessons that you taught me is finally starting to stick.
She is quiet for a very long time, and without saying a word, she just kind of comes over to Pearson and puts his arm around her and just kind of lays her head on his chest and never says a word, just stays like that.
Gotcha. All right, that'll be a sweet little moment to end it off with then.
And finally, last but not least, sometime late into the night, a sleeping Finn, who is asleep near some boxes she propped up and stabbed, I believe.
Yeah, she was stabbing them pretty aggressively.
She gets kicked in the foot.
Ah.
And you hear, you never did learn how to use a bed, youngin'. Been looking all over for you.
What? 5 more minutes. Come on. Finn kind of rolls over to her side.
Your uncle kicks your foot again.
Ow, gosh.
Get up, Finn, and go to bed. You'll catch cold down here.
I was just practicing.
You feel a small tugging on your hair as Mika starts trying to pull you up.
What? Don't help him, Mika. He doesn't need any help.
Mika says quietly, "Just do it. I live with the man."
Okay. I'll go to bed in someplace else.
With that, as you stumbling get to your feet, your uncle will put an arm around you to support you, which, correct me if I'm wrong, by the time you get home, he's pretty much dragging a sleeping Finn anyway.
Pretty much, but she's trying to push him off while
Oh.
he's helping her.
Well, he will continue to try and help and get you eventually into bed.
All right.
And that's it. So we can fast forward to the next day, where you guys get some information. Sky is back. The tactic was incredibly effective. The distraction of the dwarves, mostly the golems, to be fair, and the sinking of the demons, while a few parties were taken out by bringing down things that were bigger than they could handle, overall, the estimated deaths or casualties for the demons were about 10,000, and you lost less than 100 people.
Nice.
Which is extremely good if you think
Yep.
Yeah.
It's 10-1.
And the orcs and the gnolls are now starting to look at Sky, who came up with and directed the plan, with a look of respect, like the look that they look at a sergeant or a captain that they're starting to really admire. She doesn't stay long. She excuses herself for other duties, and you guys are basically given about 8 hours or so free time before you are at least keen, and whoever else. Celine would make a point not to invite Jerick, but would invite the others to the courtyard.
Of course we were that effective, as if there were any doubt. Look at everything the champions of Lady Celine have massed. 10,000 of the demons destroyed, and as far as what we've learned, reinforcements cannot come so easily for the menace.
Right.
Do they?
Yep.
Does she explain why she wants us to come to the courtyard?
The messenger says that that it involves Keen and it could be important.
So, when are we all leaving? Have you spent enough time amongst your families, talking with gnomes or what have you?
I'm ready to get going whenever.
How
Longer
about
we
tomorrow
wait.
morning?
Tomorrow morning.
I haven't seen my family in 6 weeks, Jerick. I had a scant 6 hours with them last night. Not enough time. Give me one more day.
Anyone else?
I already said.
Yes, of course you did, Fidia.
I already. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I didn't get good sleep. What?
I
Well said.
will not be venturing out with you. Celine needs me for something, and I will be catching up with you in Coalhaven.
Cole?
I need to pick up a pack, and I'm ready to go.
Well, Finn, Cole, we might as well stay another night for these two. Whatever. I guess Celine always needed something. Stupid no tweet. Losing her own.
Hey, Jerk, do you know how to play any good, games? Ugh.
Well, it
Can we pass
has
the time?
been some time, Fidian, but I might very well be able to entertain you, yes.
Alright, cool. I'm down with that.
Perhaps we can go out
To-
for a ride to survey and ensure, and Cole, you could come along as well if you so wish, to ensure that there are no strangling demons left around the tower.
I guess that's something. Sure.
Yes, and along the way there are a number of games. I was active once as a kid.
Okay, I'll teach you a few. I got some good ones. Good mind games, make you think a bit. I'm not really good at those, but you know.
I look forward to the day, Finn.
Okay. Just kind of shrugs.
To make sure you guys understand, I need to be here for the next few days.
Actually, Keen, from what Lady Sin was telling you, is that, a resurrection spell normally takes a lot out of you, but you should be able to travel with everyone, from what Lady Celine has said.
It's still going to take another day at least to get the bodies.
No, that's why they're summoning you in 8 hours.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, nice.
never mind.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was going to let you know when you got there, but I'll just go ahead and say Olivia had no trouble. The orcs pointed right to it. They didn't want to go near it, so it was no trouble whatsoever.
Okay.
Oh, yes, in that case, Finn, you and I can spend the day together. You are home to these forests, some sort. You could show me a few things about here. I would delight in being in your company.
Well, I'm an elf, born in the city, but yeah, I kind of stayed in these woods for a little bit. I know a thing or three. I can show you around.
I appreciate the offer.
Not a problem, Jerick.
Let us go then.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll pick up my pack. I'll be with you hopefully shortly.
Okay.
Fantastic, Cole.
Cole, you have no trouble. When you arrive, Caleb has done a marvelous job carving out the tusk, giving enough room for your javelins without sacrificing any of the stability of the tusk. It is even polished down and not too shiny, but definitely smooth.
Good. How sturdy is this?
He says, funny thing about that. He takes a hammer and with both hands hits it as hard as he can, and the hammer bounces off. He says, I don't know where you got this thing, but it is tough as anything I've ever seen.
Good. Thank you kindly.
Caleb nods.
And we'll hoist this up on his back, obviously a lot later with all the holes in it. We're probably going to get heavier with all the javelins being put in it. Good thing it has a strap.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll skip ahead about 8 hours or so. So Cole and Finn obviously won't be around. Keen's going to the courtyard. Pearson, are you going to the courtyard, or are you spending time with your family? Pearson?
Pearson?
You step away, Inferno, or did you mute yourself?
Probably the latter. So we'll
There you
just well, retroactive. He can choose one or the other.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and get this started. So when you are summoned to the courtyard, you see as you arrive Olivia in her dragon form dropping off a headless body, and in the middle of the magic circle. And as she drops it off, is obviously the body of Theoden. She transforms back into a human and is rubbing her hands like they've been fouled. And she looks at you as she walks past and she says, "Never again."
Thank you, dear.
She nods.
And he will stop her from walking off. Give her a hug.
She sighs, but she doesn't look too displeased. And she does stay there with you. And then she says, "Now what?"
All right. Riz, Olivia, Riz. Olivia's my girlfriend. She's a dragon. I'm a dragon. This is one of the people that I ventured with before I met you.
You find Reyes cross-legged in a trance. He's not responding.
Of course. Of course he's not responding. I'm just speaking to myself, aren't I?
Well, he was turned away from you, so you didn't know he was in a trance. Lady Celine says, "Keen, we're ready.
Yeah.
The sooner we do it, the better."
All right.
She directs you to sit on the edge of the circle in the giant courtyard, and she sits in another position on the edge. And Reyes wakes from his trance and walks over to you without saying a word and sits cross-legged next to you, or behind you, and puts his hands on your shoulders. And
Okay.
then I know that you had prepared some sort of description. I don't know when your description starts.
If you want me to do it, I can just do it, unless you
Sure.
want me, or
No,
unless
if you
you want to
prepared,
describe it.
absolutely. No. If you'd already had a description, I already told you what basically needs to happen. So, and I'll let you know the results. Or what I'll probably do is take over part way through the ritual when things happen.
Okay. It was basically going to be a little bit simple and kind of fast, but essentially, Keen will close his eyes, put his hands on the circle, and slowly transform his hands into dragon hands. As soon as they fully transform, the circle will alight in the white fire that we're kind of used to, in the same pattern, and it will glow brighter and brighter and brighter. He will slowly raise his hands as the sky starts to darken. It is night, correct?
Yes, it is nighttime. Well,
All
it
right,
is
clouds are-
darkening evening. So yes.
All right, clouds are rolling in, and people who are in the courtyard can feel the static electricity start to build up in the air. Hairs start to stand on end and what have you. He slowly raises his hands higher and higher and higher, and soon enough, the flames that were just covering the circle eventually make their way to the body and start to cover the entire body. Up and up and up, he raises his hands until finally lightning starts to strike in the air, connecting with the circle. He brings his hands close together. Then he is going to slam them down. That will cause the flames to appear even brighter. So bright that it's almost hard to see. It'll force people to close their eyes, and it will be seen for a few miles in all directions. And that is when one final bolt of lightning strikes the Lich King. And
And when it strikes, you hear Reyes behind you say, "Envision who you're resurrecting, body and mind. Keep it in your mind." And I assume Keen does so.
yes,
When you do, when the final lightning bolt strikes, or what is supposed to be the final lightning bolt, there is a giant flash. And then the lightning seems to shoot back into the sky, and the entire magic circle flares up. And you dimly and faintly are aware of Lady Celine's voice saying, "What is happening?" And the next thing you feel is your essence is being drawn from you, your energy, your will to do anything, as if someone has opened a hole in your chest and all of your energy is being sucked out. You hear very dimly Reyes behind you saying, "Something's wrong, it's taking too much." And this magic circle grows brighter and brighter and brighter. And everyone else, no matter where you are, whether you're in the city or out of the city, you start to see a light from the courtyard of the castle grow brighter and light up the entire sky so that it's almost daylight. Keen, so much energy is being drawn from you that your body instinctually reacts, and even though you can't consciously do it yet, it transforms into that of a full-fledged blue dragon, where a form that has much more vitality and energy than your human form. And even still, more and more energy is sucked from you into the brightening magic circle. Throughout the entire affair, as hard as it is, and all the torrents of energy that rock your mind, you're able to desperately cling on to your image of the Lich King's body and soul. And in a final flash that is brighter than the sun, you suddenly feel as if it stopped. You, in your full dragon form, are lying on the ground. You're alive and you're conscious, but you can't move. You feel so tired, so exhausted, that even trying to move your finger or put your tongue back in your mouth that's lolled out, it seems impossible. Olivia comes to your side and is screaming your name and screaming at Celine and asking what happened. Celine is staring at the center of the circle, where you draw your eyes to, and you see two forms. Hang on 1 second.
Two.
Two forms.
Oh shit!
And you see... Okay, seriously, I had these tokens. You see two forms. One that you are familiar with, which is the face of the Lich King that you know. He is sitting on with his hands holding his head, and he's slowly shaking his head, and he's saying, "What? Where?" And then you see another form who is next to him, who is slightly familiar. Someone you've seen once before very recently. But this person is writhing on the ground in agony and pain. His hands are tearing at his hair and he's screaming. You notice that it is the face that you saw when the Lich King went to go talk to Lady Celine. Slowly, very slowly, the cries of agony calm down, and the man lays on his back and looks up at the sky, and then begins to laugh. And you hear very quietly, "Fuck you, Azil. You don't have me after all."
Awesome.
Is that in character? Or
I can't say anything in character. Remember?
right, that is true.
I can't do anything, so that
is
is out of
anyone
character,
else
sir.
Curious or
Nobody
coming
else
towards...
is like...
Yeah, is anyone else coming towards the light or anything?
Um,
How bright is it?
I would
Extremely
have
bright.
to say Cole would have to excuse himself from Pearson's kids and go towards the light, yes.
It will look like the sun has just risen, even though it has just gone down.
Well, it's not dark anymore,
bright.
though. Once the ritual
Yeah.
is over, it's turned back into night. It was like a rising light and then a brilliant flash and then nothing.
We would probably see a Griana.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you guys definitely see.
Yeah.
Got
Oh,
it.
miles.
In that case, going to life, Jerick, who was going to stand up to try and climb a tree, looks over at the city in the back of it and says, "No, Finn, I don't think that should happen. Perhaps we should race to get back to Sunset Tower then."
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Finn hops down, looking very concerned.
Jerick will follow closely after Finian, staff in hand.
Slowly, the new form sits up and looks around, and he slowly says, "You tried to resurrect me." And he looks, "Who actually tried to resurrect me?" And Lady Celine will, without a word, point to Keen, who's now a blue dragon laying on the floor, and he'll laugh and he'll say, "He pictured my body and my soul." And then he'll look over to the other form and he'll say, "It's been a long time, Master." And Lady Celine's jaw just drops. And out of character, since there's no one there to explain it to,
Yeah.
the Lich King was a body and a soul, but not exactly the same one. And when Keen tried to resurrect what he thought was the Lich King's body and soul, he was actually trying to resurrect two different things, which he succeeded in doing. So, basically, by the way, Keen, you lose 10 hit points permanently.
Oh, I got that.
All right. He just got a twofer. He just resurrected Lady Celine's father and Theoden in his original body.
Yep. So that's awesome. And I'm a full-fledged dragon. Like, Full on. Even though I can't move.
Yeah. You're probably going to be transforming back down to your human state, because even if you didn't have all the energy sucked out of you, you wouldn't be moving that well. Because it'd be like you suddenly be thrown into a dragon's body and being told to walk.
Yeah.
So we can kind of, waiting for more people to get there, because like I said, you're not really in much of a condition to talk. Olivia's tending you.
Yep.
Lady Celine is going to check to make sure you're okay. Rias, the cleric, is going to also see to you, while Lady Celine is trying to make sense of what the hell happened.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone else? Because about this time would be the time other people would start arriving if you were choosing to arrive.
It's definitely going to be people in the Sunset Tower arriving first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cole, rushing up the stairs, hand already going towards his javelins, will reach the top and survey, in battle terms, what is going on here.
You see the body you knew as the Lich King sitting next to a body that you don't know, and they are talking to Lady Celine quietly. Well, loud enough that you can hear, and you can gather that something's happened. The Lich King is back, but not quite, and this other person who is Lady Celine's father is back.
Alright. He's going to, like, kind of stand up straighter and, like, actually pull out a spear and start slowly walking towards them. Like, it's sort of like half stealth, half just trying to be aware if anything jumps him, slowly walking towards the people.
All right. Why don't you give me a tracking check?
Okay. Let's see.
Okay. Wow. You actually, they are so focused on each other, the three forms, and Keen might or might not notice you, but he can't do anything about it.
I can only move my eyes, maybe.
You get within a few feet of the one you knew as the Lich King when his head pops up and he turns around and he says, quite cheerfully, "Hello. Who are you?"
Cole.
He holds out a hand. "I'm Lord Francis." And
with a frustrated grunt, an exhale of air, he puts his freaking, like, javelin back up and just kind of going like, "All right." Sure.
And the form next to him will say, "Cole, I am Theoden. It's a little confusing, but I was in Francis." Yeah.
Cole's looking up at the sky going like, "All right." He's just going to be very loud about this. "I know that this is an illusion. You can come out now."
You're not one of the ones that wears the rings, are you?
Nope.
No, but let us know when someone else arrives.
Oh, well, yeah. Anyone in the Sunset Tower has had a chance to arrive. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were just purposely being quiet. Sorry.
That's fine. No, I'll let Cole just be Cole. That's fine. I got nothing to contribute.
You voice out, "Come out and fight me!"
Lady Celine will put a hand on Cole's shoulder and say, "It is no illusion. We used the resurrection spell to bring back the Lich King, but the Lich King was 2 people."
Cole looks at her with like a blank stare. kind of picks her hand off of his shoulder.
Lady Celine will take the hand away and back off and say, Cole, you remember that the Lich King used other bodies, yes?
Yes.
He used my father's body when you met him. When we tried to resurrect him, we resurrected the body and the soul.
It's like whipping his head around. Then why didn't you tell me earlier, Queen?
Lady Celine shrugs and she says, I didn't know it would happen that way. No one's ever tried to resurrect the Lich King before.
You can see that his tongue is pressed against the lower part of his mouth. He's gonna take a spear and just start throwing them into the air. No, he stops doing that and actually goes and like lets out an exhale, calming himself down, sits down, and starts trying to reach out for magic energy.
Francis is gonna lean over to Theoden and say, "That's a spirited one," and Theoden's gonna be like, "You have no idea."
Alright, what do I roll to check for energies?
Oh man, you don't have to roll. It's everywhere right now. It is all over the place. If you have any shred of magical talent in you, you're feeling it. And believe it or not, you're feeling from Francis, you're feeling an amazing amount of magical energy. So
You're not very good at hiding yourself, illusionist. While he's having his eyes closed and waving his hands around in front of him while sitting cross-legged on the floor.
Lady Celine, Celine will look to Pearson and say, Pearson, I don't think I'm going to get through to him.
Okay. Pearson will say, Cole, you know this ring that we were given?
Yes, give me the ring.
Okay. Pearson, without argument, is going to give him the ring.
He's gonna try to slide it on the smallest part of his pinky finger.
It is,
Okay, my hands aren't that small. I'm only a couple inches smaller than you. Shorter than you, Cole.
Despite the fact that it's been on Pearson's hand, it's still, ice cold. Or cold as metal would be.
He'll sit there for a while, just inspecting the ring. Slide off the ring, give it back to Pearson.
Okay. And Pearson will say, so, which one of you did we make our deal with?
The Theoden, the new one, will say, that would be me.
Mm-hmm. Well, considering your new lease on life, is it fair to say that you'll continue to honor it?
Oh, I will honor it as much as I can, yes. But if we're being completely honest, I don't feel like I used to. I don't believe that I have the curse anymore. Which means, and he stands up quickly, where's Jerick?
Not here.
And
Not
he
yet,
kind of
at
sits
least.
back down again as he gets lightheaded, and he says, "We have to find Jerick."
Oh, and what do you know? As if on time. Veer decide.
Yeah, you, Finn, and Jerick arrive right at that moment when he sits back down and says, "We have to find Jerick."
Jerick, of course, with Finian and with like a host of guards
Yeah.
that Jerick demanded that follow.
Finn has like her daggers out.
Brandish, and Jerick follows behind Finian
Mm-hmm.
and stops square in the doorway.
Finn stops, taking a few steps, and then recognizing one of the faces.
Everyone just kind of stops and stares at the guards and Jerick and Finn, except for Theoden, who starting to gathers his wits around him and says, "Oh, Jerick, there you are."
Jerick's eyes go from the body that he knows is Lady Celine's father and focus on a figure that he is not familiar with.
In the vision of confusion, Theoden looks at you for a second, then nods and goes, "Oh, right. I'm Theoden. This is my original body. Apparently..."
You.
He actually shrinks back and falls over.
Jerick looks between the two, and then his eyes shift over to Lady Celine. Is this why I wasn't invited to the courtyard and Fidian was?
She nods. It was. We needed him back.
Oh. Of course. Jerick offers a false smile. So, then Jerick looks around at everyone else.
Finn's staring at the dragon.
Jerick looks at the dragon. And that would be the fool, Keen Stormsire.
Keen, you can twitch your tongue a little bit if you want.
The tongue twitches. Yeah.
Well, as I wasn't invited, I think I'll keep this party amongst yourselves. I'll be leaving now. And Jerick turns around.
Finn will follow after Jerick.
No, guards, you can stay here, Jerick yells. He calls in the hall. That's your lords in there.
Theoden sits up and says, "For Jerick, he took that surprisingly well." Anyway, I don't know exactly why you brought me back. I am incredibly grateful. I have good news and bad news to share with you, though. If bringing me back was an effort to bring back the forces of mine that fell when I died, I'm afraid that I no longer have the power to summon the undead. I believe that has passed on to, and he motions down the hallway to where Jerick left. However, my more powerful servants should still be loyal to me. But I don't bring just bad news. When you resurrected me, I was... And he struggles for a moment. When I died, that should have been the end. My soul should have traveled on, but it didn't. I don't know how. I've never heard of such a power, but Azil kept me. My soul, my intangible, very essence. He tortured me. You didn't just resurrect me from death, you saved me. But, in the torture, he revealed much. After all, I was but a soul, and I don't think he's ever witnessed a resurrection before. You have hurt him greatly. He's lost in one day 2 of his strongest allies, and in taking me out, he had not had the effect he'd hoped. Even less so now. My curse passed on. My more powerful minions yet live. He has no mother. He has no Lich King. And he certainly has no reinforcements beyond a mere handful or 2 he could bring in. He is livid. And I think he's scared. And with that, he goes quiet.
The big hulking dragon form grunts again.
With that, Francis goes, "I'm sorry, did I miss something? Azil? Demons? Reinforcements? War?"
Since we're so... Let's start again. Hi, I'm Cole.
I'm Francis.
So, if you have time, I can fill you in.
It would seem that I have a new lease on life. Thus,
Do you
yes,
have time?
I have the time. Yes. And would Cole fill him in then on?
Yes, I
going
can.
on?
I can lead him away from the conversation to not interrupt anybody. If other people still need to have any conversations, not like into another room, just
Right,
to
to
the
the
side.
side. Take him to the side. All right. Pearson, Keen, I know you're
Yeah.
kind of stuck.
Yeah.
But Pearson, do you have anything or?
No, I cannot compute.
Yeah.
So I have nothing to contribute at this time, I'm afraid.
Then what we can do is we can fast forward, say, half a day or so. You guys can let me know what you did if you feel it's of consequence, where people have had more time to process what's taken place, and then you
Yeah.
guys can figure out your next steps from there.
I would like to try and concentrate on something.
Okay.
Returning to human form?
With Olivia's help, it takes about a good half a day or more. You can return to
Okay.
human form. You can walk around, but you feel like you haven't eaten in weeks.
Yeah. All right.
And Olivia, who for the entire time until you were able to transform back down, has been worried sick about you. As in, no quips, no sarcasm, no nothing.
Mhm.
Finally, pats you on the cheek and says, "Congratulations, you managed your first transformation."
He is going to hug her and kiss her.
Yeah, she's not going to resist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Others?
I am regaling the I guess king or father or whatever. What is his name again?
Francis.
Francis. Okay. He's regaling Francis with the tale but spun by the side of cold, recalling all of the blood-soaked battles with great detail, speaking fairly lowly about the magic users that he had to actually dispatch of because of they seem to be the most problematic out of most things, and most things that he does not like he'll spend a lot of time on, and he'll do very brief footnotes onto things that are probably pretty important, like, oh, and yeah, then we found the dwarves and they're fine.
Nice.
I suppose, Kriana, then what we're typing can actually be carried over into voice.
I suppose so.
Yes,
Might be an idea.
So people don't have to read.
yes. Well, Jerick is stalking out of the tower towards the stable, fury, spitting words at Finn.
Yeah. Finn's just trying to process all what's going on.
Jerick, you can't go again. You just can't keep running away. I can help you.
Jerick stops, and he looks at Finn, and he says, "Help me." How?
I don't know, but I've ran away a lot. Believe you me. But
She kind of like looks around like nervously.
I want to help. I don't know how yet, but there's got to be some way.
Finn, your heart is in the right place. But Keen Stormsire, one of our traveling companions, one of the heroes who is fated to save Ardenfell, just brought back one of the greatest evils in this entire world, resurrected him, gave him a new chance. He's got a new body and everything. Oh, all of the terror he committed. All of the undead he rose. What about the thousands of orcs that lay dead because of him? What about my arm? Lifting the skeletal arm. My arm is gone. What about my soul the Lich King tried to consume? It's not all right.
No, it's not, and there needs to be justice done. I don't know. I don't know what Keen was thinking, but
And Lady Celine, that stupid twit who lost her kingdom, agreed to it and hid it from me because I would have tried to stop it. Because no, I will not trade one evil ruler for another.
Jerick, just let's just cool our heads. Why don't we go back out in the forest? Just you can rant all you want, tell me everything. Just get to a point where we can think logically and try and figure this out. I know you can do that, Jerick.
Jerick clenches his fist and stamps his foot. All right, the forest is at least one step further away from here. I'm bringing my horse.
Okay, you can bring the horse.
Can't believe it's...
Finn lets
Jerick-
out a little sigh.
And Jerick will sputter out into silence for a time being as he collects his thoughts before raging again.
This time Finn is slightly more prepared.
Nice. Ironically, it's really funny because it's too bad Pearson isn't there because he is one of the people who is least familiar with the idea of running away. But this isn't about him, so I'll just listen.
All right, so Finian,
Yeah.
the Lich King, been a problem in Ardenfell's history for a very long time.
Correct.
Been looming there longer
Yes.
than you or I have been alive.
Right.
Now, according to whatever book that you found while I was away, the Lich King was cursed, and oh, woe is him, all these undead go raging around. Now, does he choose to resolve the situation in a way that helps people? Maybe by killing himself, no longer existing? No, he has to survive the Lich King by eating the world, the blight, the darkness that persisted. You remember the Moonstone? The Moonstone, he created that. The Moonstone, yes. Yes, the Moonstone there on Windfall Isle, corrupting the dragons. The Lich King sided with the demon invasion. Unmitigated, undefinable evil. Anything you've ever challenged me on, anything that you or Pearson or Call or that keen Stormsire said that I was insensitive or evil or cruel, that I wasn't thinking well. I didn't resurrect an evil. I have preserved everything that I could do and everything who I am to fight every step of the way as a champion to bring peace and close these rifts and kick out the demon invaders. And Keen raises the Lich King.
Right.
I don't understand how we're going to save Ardenfell, Finian, if we just keep reviving all of the evil in it. What's the point?
I wish I had a good answer.
This doesn't make sense.
Honestly, I wasn't too sad to see him go, but
No, I considered killing him myself.
I know, Jerick, I know.
That's why I stayed behind on Windfall Isle to develop the weapon, to fire it at Shadowhold.
Yeah, we kind of figured.
And so, Lich King being dead, not really a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. I've been hunting on undead for several years, many years. It's my specialty. my curse, if you will, lifting the arm again. It's what I was born and meant to do. It's how I've... And he dies. The world is saved from the undead blight, and King brings it back.
I guess I can kind of understand from a tactical point, maybe, that we're still trying to deal with one problem, and then after we deal with the whole demon invasion, we go back to dealing with the Lich King, but I just don't know.
Okay. Whenever we made that agreement with Theoden, we reasoned that it was important, because the demons were more important to deal with.
Right.
And so I suppose that idea still holds in place, that the demons are more important. No matter the fact that the great evil has been brought back to Ardenfell, the demons are still more important, and perhaps he can assist us in that regard.
True, and we still have that cannon, right?
Last time I checked, I still don't know how to fire it.
Well, I mean, that could be something to do after the demon invasion's done with.
How can you stomach this, Finian? I want to go back there and try to... But I can't, even if I did try, because everyone's in agreement there, Lady Celine, and everyone else. It's Keen's fault that this happened, and she supported it.
I don't know. The whole thing feels a little not right to me. I guess I would have felt better if Keen was up front, maybe explain things, but I don't like that you were purposely left out of something so big. You think that they would have known that you would have figured it out. I don't...
I imagine that they didn't care what I thought and decided to do what they thought was for their best, without giving consideration to what's best for Ardenfell.
I wish the wish stones weren't so terrible. Just wish to get out of here.
Well, that is a possibility that I have considered. And, well, Finian, maybe there is hope should everything be lost with the revival and return of the Lich King. You'll stick with me, right, Finn? You said you would do anything to help.
Well, of course. You're not gonna go on a weird killing rampage and destroy everyone, right?
Finn, I understand I have not earned your benefit of the doubt. I have my dark aspects, but I have always been devoted to hunting the Lich King and destroying evil in this world. I think I can say that I'm no longer the worst person in the group. I didn't bring back the Lich King.
Finn actually kind of chuckles at that. I never thought you were the worst person in the group. I mean, I don't think there really is one. You're eccentric, but you know, we all are kind of oddballs, I guess.
Thank you, Finn. Thank you. Well, this group is still necessary to destroy the Demon Lord, I suppose. And if we are divided, then I imagine we will not be able to do that effectively. Should we rip each other apart, and if I permanently go my own way to try to bring an end to it, then I imagine the demons will win. But there will be a reckoning for what has happened this day, Finn. I swear it.
Let's just take it one step at a time, then.
All right. Finn, I can't see the first step. What is it?
Stopping the demons. You don't
No.
have... You don't... What?
How do we do that?
Well, I guess what we had planned before. Maybe we should go back and try talking with everyone else.
Maybe you should. I will not leave Sunset Tower, I promise you. But I am aware enough to know that in my state, and he says this through clenched teeth, I could do something that would harm Ardenfell. You are the more sensible and better person for handling this, Finn. You do see the threat to our world, a world that we both care about deeply. And as I noted whenever we rushed into Sunset Tower, I trust you.
Finn stares at him and nods.
Thank you, Finn.
And then I guess with that, she will head back to the tower.
Okay.
Jerick will slowly follow behind and keep to the stable.